There's been a lot of talk about All American Massacre over the years. Will it ever be completed? Is it an official sequel, or is it just a glorified fan film? Well, here in this binder, I have some of the answers, and we're going to be discussing them throughout this video. The fourth film in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise was released in 1995 under the title The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was later recut and retitled Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation for its wide release in 1997. After that, the rights to the franchise ended up in a very interesting place. November 1st, 1998, Variety reports that Unipix Entertainment has acquired theatrical rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and is in pre-production on a 25th anniversary installment of the classic slasher pick. TX25 will be the fifth picture in the series. It is scheduled for a 1999 theatrical release. Robert Barrick claims that TX25 will have, quote, all the thrills and chills of the 1974 original, but will deliver them in a hip, contemporary way, end quote. The following year, on January 18th, 1999, Ain't It Cool News offered an update from contributor Psychocrod. He visited a Fangoria convention in New York and claims to have spoken with a Unipix representative. He said there were script issues, and due to the original 1999 release date being delayed, the title was changed from TX25 to TX2000. Tobe Hooper was said to still be in talks, and that was the last official information given on the subject. However, jumping ahead one more year to 2000, Unipix was in production on a movie titled Ed Gein. I spoke with director Chuck Perillo behind the project and asked him if there were any connections between his film and the unmade Texas Chainsaw Massacre 5, aka TX25, aka TX2000. He confirmed that his film Ed Gein had nothing to do with the earlier Chainsaw projects. However, the mention of Robert Barrick did remind him of something. Here's what he had to say. Quote, now that you mention all that, this is ringing some bells. I do remember Robert Barrick and his company. I think my manager was trying to get me a gig on their TCM flick that obviously never happened, end quote. Because there were reports that TX2000 ended with Ed Gein driving in a truck to Texas, I thought for sure there was some kind of connection. However, the trail goes cold. Unipix Entertainment ended up selling the rights, or losing the rights, to Radar Pictures in 2002, and they eventually co-produced the remake that we got in 2003. And those are the little known public facts about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 5. However, in this binder, it looks like there is a little bit more to the history of Unipix Entertainment and their involvement with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. Many of these documents are dated November 1998, which is when the film first started production, and that actually lines up perfectly with the initial press release that was released when Unipix Entertainment got the rights to the Chainsaw franchise. So while I can't confirm if TX25 mentioned in the initial press release is the same project as All American Massacre, it does look like All American Massacre was intended to pitch the fifth Chainsaw movie. Here's a casting call for All American Massacre. Note that the film is referred to as Texas Chainsaw Massacre 5. The logline at the bottom of the page reveals the following information. Quote, project will be directed by William Hooper, son of Tobe Hooper, director of Part 1 and 2, Poltergeist, etc. Shot on digital video as a demo test for the actual film that is currently in pre-production. Shoots this weekend, therefore urgent. No pay, but the payoff is the exposure towards William, Tobe, who is currently negotiating to direct Part 5, as well as the producers, Unipix. Copy of tape will be provided. So yeah, either TX25 and All American Massacre were the same project, or Tobe Hooper and his son quickly put together All American Massacre to pitch their own ideas instead. An additional sheet confirms their plans for the demo tape. They wanted it transferred to 35mm film for screenings. Sony is mentioned, and that studio happened to be involved with the distribution of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, and recent internet rumors also suggest they somehow own the rights to Chop Top. This could indicate how messy things were getting behind the scenes. They also wanted to ask Tobe for a Tobe Hooper Presents credit, which would have definitely added some authenticity since Tobe did not direct. Reports do indicate he had a hands-on role with the production of the film, as it was partially shot on his property and at least one behind-the-scenes photo of Tobe with the cast exists. The plans also mention making a deal with Unipix so they could sell home video copies online and at conventions. What's really interesting, however, is the final line on the page. Quote, "Shoot music video with Buckethead. Have him play Leatherface and also show Viggo Mortensen as the TCM3 character. Insert clips from the short." End quote. Now, Buckethead, who played Leatherface in All American Massacre, did include footage on one of his DVD compilations back in the late 1990s, and I'm not sure if that footage was intended to be used as a music video piece, and maybe this is the same music video that they wanted him to shoot according to the documents, or it could be footage from the movie. It's hard to tell with how little information is out there. What's really interesting about this piece, though, is that it mentions Viggo Mortensen's TCM3 character. Viggo Mortensen did play Tex in TCM3, but the film doesn't really share much continuity with Part 2. Why he was mentioned in the documents, I'm not sure. It could have been a typo, or they really wanted to use archival footage from Part 3 for some reason. The other possibility is that someone was friends with Viggo and just wanted to have him on set as his character, which would have been really cool, and I don't know if they ever edited or shot this video, but I would love to see it now knowing that as much as the actual movie. Unfortunately, that's just a little bit of the information we have regarding All American Massacre. Whether or not the film gets completed someday and more of this information comes to light remains to be seen. So far, things are looking pretty grim on that front. There have been pieces of other documents or photographs or videotape edits that have surfaced online. Most of the people who've bought them have either disappeared or found ways to try to turn them into some kind of profit. So with what I have, I am looking forward to filling in some of the gaps with this missing history for All American Massacre, because even though it never got the green light to be an official Chainsaw sequel, it does play a heavy role in the history of the franchise and the overall legacy for one of the greatest horror movies ever made, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hi, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you subscribed, liked, and added a comment. Let me know what else you would like to know about All American Massacre, and maybe I can cover it in a future video. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy getting to learn a little bit about the history of the unmade Texas Chainsaw Massacre 5, which would have kept the original series going before they ended up remaking it. As always, obey the brain, and I'll see you next time.